We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how do you say that? Air it out. Air it out.
Air it out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Air It Out podcast. I am your host. My name is Avery Collins. So what's going on? I'm joined by none other than the one and only Coach Braxton. Juan, say what's up to the people.
Y'all, I've been feeling like an old person as of late. All right. Even though the temperatures are still dropping up here, I'm having to like double wrap myself with a blanket and a hoodie and all this other stuff. Like, do not come to the Midwest. You will freeze your butt off up here.
I mean, I could have told you that, but hey, you're doing great things up there in the Midwest. So shout out to you. Jerome is Captain Obvious today. It is what it is. But Coach, what's up with you, sir?
Just got done with a great interview with a great player. Can't wait for you guys to hear it coming up shortly and soon. I won't give out any hints, but this guy is dominant. Like PFF Defensive Player of the Year for his conference. Dominant. But I won't say no more. I'll let you guys see it when it comes.
All right. As you know, again, we do it all, man. So go check out that interview when it drops with Coach Braxton. Do not forget that interview. Check it out when it drops. And, big him up a little bit. Give him a share. Give him a like. Give him a follow on, his Instagram and his Twitter and all of those different things, okay? I'm sure it was a great interview, and I can't wait to listen. But, yeah, I mean, this right here, this is the Air It Out podcast, and we talk about all things pro football. Keep that on the hush hush, Coach. Oh, okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? We can't give too much.
I was trying to lead a couple of secrets right now.
But when it drops, you guys go check that out. But like I said, it's the Air Out podcast, and we talk everything pro football. And so I want to ask you guys, we're going to jump right into our first topic. And I want to ask you guys, what do you think was the best moment of 2021, of the 2021 NFL season? What do you guys think was the highlight, the big hurrah, the best moment of 2021? And Coach, I'm going to start with you. Let me know. Hello, my man.
How you doing? So it's very hard to honestly say. It's a lot of great moments this year.
A ton.
A ton. You have Jonathan Taylor going golf as per usual. Devontae Adams doing his thing, and Aaron Rodgers doing his thing, even without Devontae and Alan Lazard and MVS. It is a lot of great things, but at least for me, there's three that really stand out. The first being the playoff game from the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen.
Ooh.
They had a perfect offensive game.
Ooh.
And that, especially not only the fact that they had it, but they had it in the playoffs. No need for field goals, all touchdowns, no fourth downs, no interceptions, no turnovers at all. It was just beautiful. You have second, Jamar Chase's single game record against the team they had to then beat to get to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Jamar Chase went off for 237, if I'm not mistaken. Just 237, I believe, 3 touchdowns. Just let's put that into perspective, people. That was almost close to being the Cincinnati Bengals single game record, period. Let alone the rookie record.
Yeah.
But at least for me, going to be a little bit of a homer here. The doink that went in. The 66-yard field goal kick from Mr. Legatron, Justin Tucker. The new NFL record for longest field goal. If he does not make it in the Hall of Fame first ballot, It's done. Hall of Fame just be canceled. Because we're not even discussing this anymore. Like, 66 yards, people. Whew.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. And a game they had to have to even continue their playoff hopes. Obviously, they didn't make it. They fell, I think, it was a game short of that. But just even that in that moment, oh my goodness gracious, that was absolutely beautiful, breaking an NFL record. So that's a good one. I like that. You were a homer. I'm not gonna slander you on that one because that was a really
like I said, it was a lot of great moments, but Ravens fan or not, that was a great moment. Period. People.
And that's why I said I'm gonna let you live because that again.
That's acceptable. Like if I could break out my Justin Tucker jersey that I have right now.
Yeah,
and for you because that was pretty incredible. But
that was good.
I'm gonna stick with kind of like a connection in that sense, going from the Ravens to the Lions for some of my best moments. I have 3 of them, just like Coach Braxton here. My first one is the Lions getting their first win of the season on a last-second touchdown from Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You always love seeing teams get their first win of the season, especially in such a dramatic fashion. I think I've listened to the radio call of that game like so many times just because of the emotion that you can hear from it. I love seeing like bad teams finally get their chance to shine in the sun. That's kind of what my list consists of. So there's that. It was against the Minnesota Vikings, 27-23. Jared Goff showing that he can win without Sean McVay, although not very effectively, but still. My second best moment was the Bills against the Jaguars. Josh Allen versus Josh Allen. Being able to see an underrated pass rusher have his glory in the sun. A sack, and a forced fumble, and an interception all in the same game against someone who is his namesake and who people have often called his better. Plus, as a Jets fan, you always like to see your division rivals get roughed up a little bit by teams that they're expected to beat. So that's always a pleasure. And then my final one, I'm going the same route as Coach did. Going to be a little bit of a homer. And if y'all disagree with me, please let me know. But the Mike White game against the Cincinnati Bengals. No one expected a backup who never played in the NFL before to break out with a 400-plus yard performance, a 2-touchdown performance, and take on a team that eventually went to the Super Bowl. All right? Not to mention, you still saw the development of Joey B and Jamar Chase in that game, but then at the same time, a developing young team starting to get a little bit of a handle of what it could be for the future. Really, honestly, giving the perfect definition of any given Sunday. And those are my moments.
Absolutely, that was a great one.
I will take it. I will take it. The Mike White hype after that game, the Rudy Roof. I love it. I will take it. Yes. Yeah. He was screaming Mike White.
Initially, I wanted this reaction for both of your takes since you went homers. But I'm gonna let you guys pass because they were good takes. They were good takes. So I'm not mad at it. Shout out to the CEO, Jerome Jones says, Juan, what positions are the Jets drafting with the two top first round picks? We'll get there. We will get there.
I'll let you know when we get there by draft time.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. But for me, I wanted to go and troll Darren and say Jamar Chase's phenomenal game against the Ravens. I wanted to say that. But I was like, let me let him live a little, this week. I'm gonna let him live a little this week. I am torn here, but I know what my number one is. I just don't know what I want to put at 3 and which one I want to put at 2. But I think I've decided. Number 3, best moments of 2021 NFL season. The primetime games, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. They were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, they were just so
That's
good.
it.
Like you're talking about nail biter after nail biter. Just so many good games in those primetime games,
So
man.
many overtimes.
Oh, so many overtime, so many destiny deciding games in those games. It was so we saw Kirk Cousins win 3 times in prime time. What? Who had never won in prime time before? Absolutely. I mean, that was absolutely phenomenal. So that's at number 3 for me. But number 2, oh man, Bills versus Chiefs. Goodness gracious, what a playoff game. That game was absolutely one for the ages. I mean, the playoff games in general were really good, but that, oh my god, 13 seconds. Oh my god, like just, I mean, you're talking the back and forth, the overtime, when you don't think the Bills are able to get it done. Gabriel Davis in the back of the end.
The game's so controversial, it sparked wanting to change overtime rules.
Oh my
god.
Lord.
That is how intense it got for me.
Oh my goodness. It was just absolutely crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, so that was really good. That was really good. Yeah, but the number one moment of the 2021 NFL season for me, without question, there's nothing topping this. Not only did I get to see my first ever NFL game in person, I got to do it with my dad. There's nothing topping that in the 2021 NFL season. I got to see my Falcons play. My dad got to see his Giants play. I got to see my first game with my dad in the stadium. We were in the building. Sorry, Pop. They took the L. My boys won, but just being in that atmosphere with him and being able to enjoy that was absolutely like that. That was a great moment of my year in general. It was just absolutely great. Yep, Pop, what up? That's my Pop right there, ladies and gents.
There it is, as he said.
Avery, I share your enthusiasm for your first NFL games. I mean, my first NFL game that my dad took me to was a Jets Colts rematch, and I got to see Mark Sanchez play in person, who was like my football hero at the time. And I will proudly admit that because he is the whole reason I'm here in the first place. And I got to watch the Jets absolutely deliver a thumping win against an Andrew Luck-led Colts that year.
Yeah.
I get you.
So this is pre-butt fumble Mark Sanchez.
Oh, no, it's post-fumble.
It's post-fumble.
It's like 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so
listen, like I said, that without question for me was absolutely the best moment of the year. So yeah, that's the one for me. The 2021 NFL season, nothing's topping that at all. All right, so let's get into our next topic. All right. Well, it looks like our CEO is laughing at you, Coach. You know, because you brought up the butt fumble. I mean, I didn't think we were gonna see that anytime soon, but you know, you brought it up. It is what it is.
Well, it happened, so we gotta bring it up.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. Speaking of fumbling, I feel like some teams are going to fumble on some of these players. That leads us into the next topic. The most intriguing free agents out there right now. I mean, I need to hear from you guys. Who do you think is the most intriguing? There's a long list of really good players this year, and I want to know who's the most intriguing for you guys, and I'm going to start with you, the one and only.
The list is long and it's extensive. I think I found like PFF had a list of 200 plus players with Devontae Adams topping it all off as the number one free agent. But the most intriguing, in my opinion, it's not one, but it's 2 players, and they're both on the same team. And mind you, they weren't on that team to start the year. But somehow they were both there they were both there to do one job, and they put that job off which was win the Super Bowl. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Odell Beckham Jr. I'm talking about Von Miller. All right. Both kind of like mercenaries brought in to do a job for the Rams. All right. Von Miller brought in for being traded for a second and a third round pick. OBJ just signing with the Rams after being released from Cleveland after a tumultuous 2 to 3 years up in Cleveland. Excuse me. And we both got to see Odell get his ring. We got to see Vaughn earn his second. But now it makes you question what's going to happen. I know the Rams said that they want to, bring it back, run it back, and try to get this thing going again. But their salary cap situation is just insane. I believe they're like $40 million over the cap. I'm not 100% sure on those numbers, but they have to do a lot of restructuring. There's plenty of people that they need to work around in terms of money, like Matthew Stafford's contract, Cooper Kupp possibly getting an extension for his year. Thinking about Jaylen Ramsey's, should he take a pay cut? Like, there's a lot of factors to consider. As for the two players I just mentioned, Vaughn is 33 years old. He's never experienced free agency in his life because he's always re-signed with the Denver Broncos and he was traded to the Rams during the season. So could a 33-year-old pass rusher who's still really good finally test the waters of free agency, and also where could he go? A lot of people think maybe he can go back to Denver, kind of live out the rest of his time there, or he could stay in Los Angeles to try to run it back. We know Vaughn's a competitor. We know that he still has plenty to offer any NFL team. I think he rivals Chandler Jones as the pass rusher to get for this offseason. But then you look at on the other hand, Odell. Odell, we know, is a dynamic playmaker. He's proven it as much this season, even with the ACL tear that he suffered back in 2020. All right, he was a great number 2 complement to Cooper Kupp, created space as a slot receiver, and was a great deep threat and red zone threat. So we know he's still balling. However, he did tear that same ACL in the Super Bowl off a drag route, trying to catch the ball, and just couldn't stop his momentum in time. Will that affect his ability to play? Will it affect his speed? Will it affect his route running ability, his agility? That's something that you really need to consider for a player of this caliber. All right. Not to mention, it's also Odell's first time testing free agency. Does he have any leverage going forward? I can't say if he does or if he doesn't, but where I would want him to go, I think, the ring is one thing, but is it enough to get him a big deal? I'm not sure, especially because he wasn't putting up wide receiver 1 production while with the Rams. He was playing off of the attention that Cooper Kupp was attracting with other big name defenses. I will say,
putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. I mean, on any other team, his stats are wide receiver numbers. As Cooper Kupp had a NFL
last time he put up wide receiver 1 numbers, it was a New York Giant. He couldn't stay healthy in Cleveland.
He put up. You're comparing something to somebody who broke an NFL record. Like, he had an NFL record-breaking season. He won the Triple Crown. He had an historic season. To me, I can't say that he did not put up wide receiver 1 numbers, because once he got to LA, I mean, it was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and he was racking up yards and catches. I mean, he was impacting the game. They're wide receiver.
I'm not saying that the reasons are right. I'm just kind of pointing out what teams are going to be thinking as they're exploring the OBJ option. So going forward with it, you also have to consider, exactly what Chris says, like the ACL tear, it might slow him down enough where he's not going to get that wide receiver 1 money. He's not going to be the number 1 option wherever he goes. He can't be, especially if he's losing that dynamic skill set. So if I were to kind of pick where these two are going, I'm saying Von Miller is going to re-sign with the Rams on a 2-year deal, enough where that he can go through the run it back process where he's fighting for a championship, and then maybe retire Denver Broncos soon after. And OBJ, I think, will go to Kansas City and play as a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 option in that offense.
I can see that. Absolutely, you could definitely see that. I honestly think that the Rams keep Odell. I think he's more of a threat on the field than Robert Woods in their minds. Even with the torn ACL, I think that if he can come back even at 80% or 85% of what he was, I think they would probably have that over Robert Woods. Not to say that Robert Woods is not a good player, but I mean, if we're going to talk comparisons, I think everybody in the NFL and who has eyes can see that Odell's just a better talent. Robert Woods is an amazing football player, but from a talent standpoint, Odell is just. But I do agree with you. I don't think he's getting wide receiver one money. And a torn ACL. I mean, you're talking about what now? 2 torn ACLs, a torn Achilles. And he's an aging quote unquote wide receiver. I don't think he gets wide receiver one money. He can go to a team like Houston and be the number one. That's not beneficial to the only contender. He might be wide receiver one is Baltimore,
unless they get Antonio Brown.
I mean, that's not necessarily true.
Antonio Brown's not coming to Baltimore. Let's stop the buffoonery.
Tell McCarr to stop posting pictures with him.
No. My opinion, I think I think there's plenty of teams he can go to and be wide receiver one that are contenders, right? I think a team like the Colts, I think he could end up being wide receiver one there, and. Obviously not long. Michael Pittman is on his way up. I mean, Michael Pittman.
Odell has smartened up. He played years with Eli Manning, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, and Case Keenum. So he knows he has to look for a good quarterback to get the ball.
Without question.
He's not going to go for where the money's biggest. I think he will look for the right.
Absolutely. I'm just again, like I said, I'm just saying this is a team that is a contender, where he could potentially be wide receiver one in that offense. I mean, and it's going to sound crazy, but I think he could potentially end up being the favorite target, maybe not wide receiver one, but the favorite target of somebody like a Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. And they're obviously contenders. I think he could become the favorite target, maybe not wide receiver one, but just the favorite target in that regard, and some other teams. But anyway, with that being said, Coach. Who are your top, or who's the most intriguing free agent for you?
All right, I'm gonna make this first two parts really fast. First off, for Odell, he's not the number one receiver anymore. The last time he was the number one receiver was with New York when he was putting up over 1,300 yards a season.
That's cap.
He when is the last time he put over 1,300 yards a season?
But you're talking about the numbers. He was listed as wide receiver one in Cleveland. He got hurt.
You can list him there, but it's a difference between being listed as the number one receiver and being the number one receiver.
Again, how can you be when you were hurt? So again, if you're saying that, okay, because the adage is your best ability is your availability. If you're saying because of that he's not wide receiver one, then I agree with you 100%. But we're not going to sit here and act like when he was on the field, he's not more of a threat on the field than anybody on the field.
He was not a threat. I said he was not wide receiver number one.
How is he not wide receiver one?
First off, even with a Cooper Kupp there, let's be really honest. He is still not the one garnering the most attention.
Who?
So, hold up.
Because
Cooper Kupp there, he is never going to do it. If he goes to another team that has no stars whatsoever, that is how he would do it. Any other team, he is a wide receiver number two almost. Think about it. As you said, with the Tennessee Titans,
that's not true. That is see. This is what we're talking. We're missing something here. Juan, and that's why I like how Juan phrased it. He said wide receiver one on a contender, right? Because there's plenty of teams that he can go to that he's going to be wide receiver one. For example, Chris just stated Houston. He's absolutely not no taking sense, but I love how Avery.
Absolutely, yes. But right, who's the wide receiver on Houston?
Again, but you said he wouldn't be a wide receiver one anywhere he goes. So I said, you got Houston, you got Jacksonville, you've got the New York Jets.
I said if he goes to a team,
he will off the New York Jets. He's not coming to.
Let's continue.
I'm just saying.
And let's not discuss Odell all day.
Okay, all I'm saying is All I'm saying is he's definitely not getting wide receiver one money without question.
Agreed.
Absolutely not happening. But my point is, if he comes back and he's 100% healthy, he hasn't lost too much speed or agility or athleticism, he's going to be wide receiver one somewhere. But continue.
Agree to disagree on this. Agree to disagree. So, as I was stating, Odell.
And it's cap that you want him in Baltimore. That's cap. If he's 100% Odell, you want him.
I never said he wouldn't be for us because we don't have a clear cut number one. He can do that for us.
Guys, this is not the Odell Beckham Jr. show.
A star receiver. So continue on. No more Odell talk, people. Let's get to the real meat and greet of this, because when it comes to this free agency period, there's two distinct positions that have the most, and I mean the most money to be able to be thrown at when it is the line, whether it's offensive or defensive line, in the wide receivers. Just to name a few. You have Odell. You have Devontae Adams.
No. I want to hear your most intriguing. Don't go on the list.
No. I'm not stating any of them is my most intriguing yet. I just was stating the wide receivers is plentiful.
He's providing the context. Let
my
the man speak.
My most intriguing, period, flat out. I know. This is going to be a little bit weird, but it's going to have to be Hassan Reddick.
Really?
It's going to be Hassan Reddick, and I'll explain why.
That is intriguing.
We are always talking about who is the next best pass rusher coming up. We know the Chandler Jones who are already solidified. We already know about the Von Millers who are solidified. Hassan Reddick has now had 2 back-to-back seasons of 10-plus sacks and has shown that he's also great against the run and can do what he needs to do to become that primetime guy. He has to be. And when you think about it, he was on the Cardinals where he was the number one. He went to the Panthers where he had Brian Burns on the other side, but never let Brian Burns outshine him. They became the core of that Panthers defense of why they were good. So, losing a guy like him and having a guy that's 26, 27 years old still has plenty of time, plenty of tread left on the tires. He is going to be a monster for anyone he goes to, whether it's outside linebacker, whether it's natural 4-3 defensive end. He's played in multiple systems, and because of the simple fact he's so young, he is looking at a 4 to 5 year deal where he can really solidify himself. So
I don't know if Hassan Reddick proved himself to be like a premier pass rusher per se.
I wouldn't say premier, but if you're talking about a 26 to 27-year-old defensive and outside linebacker with back-to-back seasons of 10-plus sacks, and it's shown that he is consistent against the run as well, and because of his background can drop in coverage a little, we're talking about a gold mine here for teams.
The market will overpay. I know that much. The market for pass rushers will overpay for them.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I agree. I agree with you, Darren, 110%. We're talking again back-to-back seasons with 10+ sacks. He's young. He's athletic. He can drop back in coverage and do different things. Very versatile player. I think he's definitely going to, like they said, if he can get that 4 or 5 year deal somewhere, I'm thinking probably somewhere around like 70 to 80 mil with like 30 to 35 fully guaranteed. I think I think he's probably going to see something around those numbers, just based on, again, his production the last 2 years, his age, and his versatility. I played back and forth.
And hear me out. I'll even tell you where.
Jerome Jones be knowing. He dropping names.
Man. That's why he's the CEO. You know what I'm saying?
I will say, if I can add something, and I hate to change the subject on it, but like, when Coach was talking, I thought when he said his intriguing option, I didn't hear Hassan Reddick. I heard Tom Brady. For some reason, and it kind of got me.
Never will happen.
And it kind of got me thinking. He's not wrong. Brady never said he was officially retired. Then again, to retire and possibly have his rights kind of forfeited, and where he could go with it, it kind of sparks up an intriguing conversation for the quarterback market, especially with the draft being so bare this year.
Yeah, it'll definitely. I mean, the draft. And we'll talk about that in another episode. But that is definitely going to be very, very intriguing as well.
Really quick.
I'm going to put this out here just to.
No, it does not.
That's all I'm saying.
Stop lying.
Chris understands. So shout out to Chris. My most intriguing free agents. I'm going to start with, I should say, I'm going to stick with a theme here. We've all kind of named some wide receivers here and name drop, but I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. Here's a receiver who just produces. He produces no matter where he goes. He produces no matter who's throwing him the ball. And he's finally a free agent. He can dictate where he goes now. Like, he can literally dictate where he goes and say, hey, listen, because now he's in the position to find himself a quarterback, to finally get the guy that he wants. And what's intriguing about this is, I think if he does this, and if they can pull this off, this satisfies a lot. Could you imagine Allen Robinson teaming up with Aaron and Devontae Adams? Oh my goodness. I could listen. That would be a very, very dangerous combination. Very dangerous. Now, do the Packers have the cap space to do this? I don't know.
They're not.
However,
$50 million over the cap.
However, what did I say before with my hot take? I said Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams end up where? Miami. I could see Allen Robinson going down there as well. All I'm saying is they got a great defense. They got enough cap space.
That Miami taking that trash, and you know it.
Now, with the quarterback situation, that's the only caveat because obviously Tuesday. But if Aaron is able to make it, all I'm saying now it's very intriguing. Okay, so that's wait, hold on, that's the all right, Coach. I'm gonna let you
talk about cap. That is mad cap. What you talking about right there?
Two things really fast.
You're capping, Avery.
I said Aaron Rodgers will be the quarterback because he's going down there with him.
No. He is not coming to Miami. No one's going to Miami.
No. Let's put this here. One, stop the cap.
Yeah.
It's not good for your health.
Not gonna happen.
Two. You're telling me they're going to get rid of Tua, and you're going to have, and then this is very possible if he goes along with Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Allen Robinson, and Jaylen Waddle, along with Mike Gesicki at tight end.
And here's the best.
Gesicki's a free agent.
Wait. Mike Gesicki might not be there because he would be the odd man out because he's a free agent. Here's the thing, though. Tua is still on his rookie deal. So is Jaylen Waddle. They don't have to do anything. They literally could keep playing.
What? You're going to trade Tua to Green Bay? You know what? We're not here talking about trades, man.
Listen.
And also, we're not talking about Aaron Rodgers right now because he's not a free agent.
I'm just saying.
Are we having a competition?
Green Bay would not. Listen, Green Bay doesn't have to worry about trading away and trading Tua or anything like that because they've got the guy that they think is the next guy up. They've got Jordan Love. They're good on that. But what they could want is a first-round pick and maybe even two. And
I guess now we are going to be sliding into the next topic because that's what we will be talking about.
I'm just saying, man.
No.
Oh, my God.
Hey, stay off the Stay off that.
I'm just saying, man. You heard it here.
He's not going there.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, okay?
Change the topic. We're talking. Change the topic. Change the topic to what we are going to talk about now because we might as well just jump into it.
No, I'm not done with my intriguing free agent.
You lost your opportunity.
I am not done.
Prediction.
No, this is over. Let's go to the
Number two. Okay, number two.
Oh, God.
I would love to see what's going to happen with Akeem Hicks. Okay, I think Akeem Hicks. I think we all can agree is one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. And so obviously he's gonna cash in somewhere. Depending on where he goes. Does he want to win? Does he want to get paid? That's going to be the question. But there are so many teams that could use an interior defensive lineman of the caliber of Akeem Hicks. And there's not one team on the planet that I would think would necessarily not try to make that call. I don't think there's any team that would say, yeah, no, don't even call for this guy. Like if there's a team that I think all 32 NFL teams would try to get that guy into their locker room because he's that good of like I said, he's a premier inside. He can play the run. He can rush the passer. I mean, the guy is multifaceted, extremely good interior defensive lineman.
My only concern with Akeem Hicks is his injury history and his age. He's in his mid-30s as a defensive tackle. He's had pectoral injuries over the past couple of years. Not to mention, like, what kind of salary can he demand for someone of his age range and durability? There's no question that Akeem Hicks can still play. However, if I were to kind of like, pinpoint where he could go, I could honestly say Dallas might be a great destination for him.
That would be a good one, seeing as they may end up losing Randy Gregory if they don't decide to sign him back and everything like that. Obviously, so yeah, that'll be a good place. I mean, there's reports that Grady Jarrett might be out of Atlanta. So again, you could see Atlanta make a push for him. I mean, there's so many teams. I mean, and Ndamukong Suh. What happens with him? Does he decide to retire because he's an aging NFL player as well? If he decides to retire, do you bring in somebody like Hicks to replace him? So that's another very, very interesting.
No, that's not fair. Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea should never be together in the middle of a defense.
You're right. You're right.
Obliterate.
But listen, Tom Brady, Mike Tony, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown should have never been on the same offense either. But it happened. So all I'm saying is, I don't know. And last but not least, I'm going to say Devondre Campbell. Devondre Campbell absolutely shined in Green Bay. Without question, when you talk about somebody who increased their market stock, like he absolutely increased his market stock. I believe he was second in the NFL this year in total tackles. He was absolutely phenomenal.
First
team All-Pro and an free agent pickup that the Falcons didn't even consider getting back.
Exactly. And so I was one of those Falcons fans who said, if you let him go, our defense is going to slowly deteriorate. And as you've seen, our defense is slow. He's one of the better cover linebackers in the league. He obviously can feel. He's a very instinctual player. He's extremely athletic. Me personally, as a Falcons fan, I would love to have him back. I don't think we clearly don't have the cap space because Matt Ryan's cap hit he's about to have the biggest cap hit in NFL history. So we're not going to have the space to sign him. But there are so many teams that could absolutely use a guy like him. I think Green Bay, if they're smart, you bring him back.
The cap situation is too tight for Green Bay to keep him.
Absolutely.
And not to mention, honestly, I feel like he might actually go get his bag. And the best place will actually be a little south of Wisconsin. I think he might go sign with Cincinnati. Because it's already a pretty decent roster being built down there. The defense is extraordinary, especially with two premier defensive linemen at opposite sides of the line. All they need is a middle linebacker to command the middle and be able to run a secondary, be able to help facilitate things in the secondary now that Ricardo Allen retired for Cincinnati. Honestly, Devondre Campbell to Cincinnati. It will be my take on that.
Yeah, I would like to see Devondre Campbell in Cincinnati. I could see him on the Raiders. I could see him. I could see him.
Denver.
Denver is also a good place.
I could even see him. Defense. If I'm being honest, I could even see him if he really wants to again contend even more so. I could see him going back to his old position, playing outside linebacker next to Darius Leonard in Indianapolis. That would be absolutely scary.
Depends on the new defensive scheme. Eberflus is gone, and the linebacker position was a much better fit when Eberflus was there. I don't know how it's going to be with the new DC there.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be absolutely scary to see those two athletic, extremely speedsters. Just like that would be. You're talking about turnover city. That would be. Oh my goodness, that would be absolutely that would be my pick to want to see. but I don't think it'll actually happen.
Eberflus.
And then as far as
Bears.
what Jerome said, what about the linebacker from Atlanta? I can't say or spell his name. Foye Oluokun is his name. He led the league in tackles this year. Absolutely broke out, but I'm not sure if he's a free agent. I have to check into that, but I don't think he is a free agent. I think Deion Jones is actually a free agent this year, but I'm not sure about Foye Oluokun. He's absolutely phenomenal. But he's nowhere near the level of Devondre Campbell. Like as an objective Falcons fan, he was getting washed in a lot of run plays. He was still
not there yet.
Yeah, he was still green in some areas in coverage. Very good, very athletic, but a lot of that was based on his athleticism.
Oh, before we move on, I do want to ask Avery, quick memories of Ricardo Allen.
Oh yeah, oh man, you're talking about a guy who's gotten cut 4 times, I believe.
5th round selection.
He was absolutely derailed by that, right? He was upset. So Foye is a free agent. I think any team would be lucky to have him. He's extremely athletic. You're going to have to coach him up. I think a great place where they coach up linebackers would be New England. He would absolutely be an animal in New England because he now is taking that athleticism and getting the IQ. That'd be great. But as far as Ricardo Allen, man, one of my favorite all-time Falcons, man. The guy, again, cut multiple times, was on the practice squad finally, and then ended up becoming not only on the team, but becoming the starting free safety for us for 7 years, and helped lead that defense to the Super Bowl. I mean, and he played absolutely phenomenal. You saw his IQ without question. The guy just studied the game. Undersized guy, was always told he was too small, never gave up, just continued to fight and be a dog. He never was afraid to go in and hit somebody. I mean, people, they always show that clip of George Kittle, blocking him in the end zone. George Kittle is 6'5", 280 pounds. Ricardo Allen is 5'9". He might be $195 soaking wet. Of course, that's going to happen. The fact is, he knew what was coming, put his head in there, and tried to make a play. He never feared anything. He never feared anyone. And so salute to him. Enjoy retirement. Shout out to him. 2022 free agent year, 27 UFA. All right. Can't wait for Rager and Oh, man. JJ Arcega-Whiteside is going to retire an Eagle.
After this. Yeah, he's retiring. He's not going anywhere else.
He's not coming. He's not going anywhere, brother.
Listen, he's not going anywhere. He's going to retire.
I know where he's going.
Okay?
No. He's going to either the XFL or the USFL because I feel like Dublin needed some talent.
Listen, man, he is going to retire an Eagle, and I can't wait. They're going to retire his number. I can't wait for it. Okay. All right. And so those
Coach, real quick, what do you want?
Wait, real quick. I gotta mention it because if you need a player, people, any player, NFL teams, please listen to me. Go take people from the Saints. Marcus Williams, free agent. They cannot hold on to their players. Please go coach them right now. This is your time. I'm just putting it out there for you.
Not a free agent, but Michael Thomas.
Just saying.
Hey, listen, I would love to have Marcus Williams on my team because the safety play was absolutely basura. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic. We kind of touched on this a little bit, but I want to know your thoughts, man. What is going on with Aaron Rodgers? Is he retiring? Is he not? Was his Instagram post cryptic? Was he alluding to retirement? Or was he not? We're hearing all of these different things. He's jumping on podcasts and he's saying, I'm not saying anything. But you just keep doing this, and this carousel keeps going. And he's starting to become the new Antonio Brown for me. I'm tired of talking about him. I don't want to hear his name anymore. Not Antonio Brown as in antics. Just I don't want to hear his name anymore. Yeah, Michael Thomas, that guy. We're just gonna go and I'm not gonna speak on that because my mom told me if you ain't
are we talking wide receiver Michael Thomas or are we talking to safety Michael Thomas? Because I know about the safety. I haven't seen a wide receiver in a while.
I'm just listen. My mom told me if you ain't got nothing else to say, don't say it at all. So I ain't gonna say nothing on the topic of Michael Thomas, Aaron Rodgers. I really don't want to talk about this. Like, I'm tired of talking about his name.
We're talking about it. Why'd you say Miami earlier? Now we have to talk about
well, because I'm just saying.
It's your fault.
I was just repeating a hot take, and it was mainly surrounded around Allen Robinson and Devontae Adams more so than Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers is going wherever Devontae Adams goes, so I had to, put that in there. But anyway, he's following the ways of his mentor, Brett Favre. Ooh.
He's not sending illicit pictures to sideline reporters. I'll tell you that.
Ooh. He is showing his feet though on camera. He is showing his feet on camera.
Fired, people.
I'm just saying he's showing his feet on camera. So there's that. My whole thing is, again, I'm just tired of hearing this. So I want to know, what do you guys think is going to happen? Are we reading too much into to Aaron Rodgers in this whole situation? Is he going to retire? Is he not? Darren, I'm going to start with you, and then I'm going to leave it to the resident Wisconsin, not native, but resident.
Journo.
So let's be very honest, people. Aaron Rodgers at this point is playing around with us, and he does what he feels like doing. Does he feel like messing with us? Yeah. Does he feel like being cryptic? Yeah. Is he going to drag this out as much as he possibly can? Yes. Why? Because we are all waiting on bated breath for Aaron Rodgers to tell us what he is doing. So until we stop worrying about what Aaron Rodgers does, this is where we're at, people. Aaron Rodgers will make his decision. Now, I honestly think he will stay in Green Bay. And I think he will stay as the main contributor to try to convince Devontae Adams to run it back.
Run what back? You lost.
They were very close. This was one of his best. Again, this was one of his best overall teams he's had in a long time.
That's true. It's true.
So I feel like this will be one of those times where they say, "Hey, let's try to run it back and finish what we started." But
that's basically what he says. That's what he said.
But yeah, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like at this point, Aaron Rodgers is playing with not only us, but the entire media, the entire fan base of Wisconsin, and we are all just going for the ride.
Yeah, it's the AA Ron show. It is what it is.
We're just watching it.
All right, Juan, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're in the city. You're surrounded by this. You are engrafted and engulfed in this. What say ye, sir?
When I looked at the list that we got for topics today, it said Aaron Rodgers retirement rumors. Let me put that to bed right now. Aaron Rodgers is not retiring. Not at the top of where his game is today, first of all. Let's get that very clear. And I'm sounding like Stephen A. a little bit, and it sounds weird. Secondly, our fearless leader, Jerome Jones, retweeted this tweet from Diana Rossini today, saying Aaron Rodgers will be informing the Packers of his decision soon, per league sources. I'm told there are multiple teams with offers on the table, but of course, nothing can happen until the Green Bay Packers allow a trade. Now, Rodgers has been on record of saying that he loves to mess with people. He just puts things out onto the internet to see if they will garner a reaction. And they do. And he knows that. And he likes to do it because he's a psychopath. Rodgers has changed as a person over the last year. All right. We've witnessed it in the media. We've witnessed it on the field too. He is more spiritual and more looking inside of himself than he has been. I'm not joking. No. I'm not joking. On the Pat McAfee show, he went on record of telling a story where he went out to dinner with Buddhist monks.
This is all that Shailene Woodley action right there.
To discuss
he got
weird spiritual stuff.
Got engaged.
Not to mention, he got married to Shailene Woodley, who is kind of a nut, in my opinion, just by the things that he's mentioned. He talked about this weird cleanse that he was on that prompted him to post a grateful post on Instagram that came out of nowhere. And he's become a hippie. We'll say it right now. Aaron Rodgers is a hippie now. and he has the look to prove it too. So he's on some weird stuff. However, when it comes to his football future, Rodgers has shown that he is happy just playing with his guys. It doesn't seem like having another championship is what's going to fulfill him. He loves playing the game of football. He doesn't want to stop. All right, football is his life, is his lifeblood. It's his passion and life, and it's not something he's going to give up easily. All right, he's saying he's waiting until the Devontae Adams situation develops. So far, there's been no talks with regard to an extension between the Packers and Adams. There are reports that he might actually go out to test free agency, and the Packers might let him do so. All right, you got to consider the cap situation that the Packers are in. Not only are they $55 million over the cap for this coming year, they are also going to be losing a lot of people, including Devondre Campbell, including Devontae Adams, including Marquez Valdez-Scantling, including I forgot number 13's name. Oh, man. But they have a lot of people on the books that could get lost in free agency. Alan Lazard, thank you. They have Alan Lazard going to free agency. They're having a lot of people hit the market, including Aaron Rodgers after he did that restructuring last year. So Green Bay has a lot to figure out, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going anywhere. He knows that Green Bay is a good situation to be in. They've treated him well. The relationship with the front office has gotten a lot better over the last year. There's better communication and better respect. Not to mention, when you're looking around the league for better situations, the only ones that come to mind are either Pittsburgh, which I highly doubt he'll ever make his way out there, and Denver, with Nathaniel Hackett being the new head coach over there. So either he'll be in Green Bay or more likely in Denver. But I honestly think he'll stay in Green Bay.
You don't think that Tennessee's a better situation? That's what I am.
There is nothing that they can offer him out there. And it's a worse. Actually, you can even make the argument Tennessee's a worse situation.
I'm just saying they got some stuff. You got Julio, you got AJ, you got King Henry back there.
And a worse offensive line and an even worse defense.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you're wrong.
I won't say, you know what? The defense is coming up in Tennessee. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers would be able to get the best out of Julio compared to Ryan Tannehill. I will say that.
Y'all, just because he bought land in Nashville does not mean he's going to be a Titan.
Oh, no, I don't think he will. But I like I said, I just feel as though being who Aaron is,
he thinks he's still in his prime.
Out of Julio,
he is.
And
does the fourth MVP not prove that?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think that he's
more delusional if it doesn't.
I think he's at the tail end of his prime. Again, but then as well, we thought the same thing with Tom Brady, and there was no real fall off until he retired. So
and he might not even be retired. That's even the crazier thing.
Yeah, no.
But did he fall off when he retired? Or he just
that's what I said. See, but that's
he fall off
what I'm saying.
Super Bowl champion.
What I'm saying is the fall off is his retirement. Like, that's his fall off. Like, that's the only thing that can make him fall off.
He might not even be retired. Why are we talking about Tom Brady in the middle of Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I'm going to say this here. Tom Brady decided to not see himself as a villain. He wanted to go out as a hero. Because as Batman said, you either live long enough to see yourself be a villain or you die. Tom Brady did not want to do the second, so yeah.
I think you got that one.
Flip it.
It's either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Listen, man, I just watched the Batman and I had to go to my class.
You can't quote the Batman. What's the damn? Can you?
Oh, man.
Listen, still
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you, everybody who joined in, who left us your comments, who joined in and viewed this. Next time, if you have it, don't forget to like and share the video. But that's going to do it for us at the Air It Out podcast. Listen, don't forget to follow us on all your social media platforms. That is Facebook at Inside the Hashes, Instagram at Inside the Hashes, and Twitter at Inside the Hashes. And don't forget to go to the YouTube, and you got to hit the like button, and then you got to hit the subscribe button, and then you got to turn on the notification button. Why? Because you want to know when we go live. Because when we go live, you can get your comments put on the screen, as I'm about to do right now with some last minute comments from our CEO. Batman or football? Gotta go with football. Gotta go with football. You know what I'm saying? The math ain't mathing, coach. She straight flamed you. Straight flamed you on air. That is awesome.
You know what? It's okay.
Oh,
there it is.
Oh, they kill you.
There it is.
They're killing you in your comments, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. Absolutely killing you, man. One more for good measure. One more.
Act two, Shalia. Act two. Oh man.
We're not out here canceling coaches. All right,
check out the website www.insidethehashes.com where you can find amazing podcasts like this. You can also get blogs and player interviews and fantasy football and everything like that. Thank you, Pop. We appreciate you joining in. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, here's something I've actually been wanting to talk about for a while. I've never actually said this on the show, so I want you all to hear me clearly and very succinctly. Matt Ryan, if you could stop patting the
football. No, we're not talking about Matt Ryan.
I was so ready for something new.
Hey, I was so ready to bring this up every time.